So the Joker movie has everybody ticked off for reasons. Let's talk about them. Hey there, we've got a new movie called Joker that is, kind of about the Joker, except it's not about the Joker at all, really in any way. And I think this is a tough movie to dissect because the people who are pissed off at it keep changing. It keeps switching identities. So initially, when this film was kind of announced, it was like people were. I would say I'm gonna let's see how best to describe Group A and Group B. So first, Group A, and let's call them more left leaning, if you will, and then we have Group B, more right leaning. But it's not as clear cut as that. But let's just say A left, B right, for sake of this conversation. So movie gets announced, and Group A is minorly ticked off. They're ticked off because Jared Leto was Joker in Suicide Squad, and people liked his Joker because he was tatted up, or I'm not sure exactly why. For some reason, the left liked Leto's Joker more than the right. I don't know why. Again, I don't. You know, in general, if I can do a very very quick sidebar here, I don't get the politics in comics anymore. But sure enough, if you if you look at somebody and they're complaining about something, whatever it happens to be, right or left, they're complaining about something. They're complaining about the boobs getting smaller in video games, or they're complaining about social justice topics in a comic. One or the other. If you click on their profile and you head on over there, 99 times out of 100, every time, for, for all intents and purposes, every single time, the people who are complaining about, there's too many, there's too many boobs in video games. What do you know? There's 800 tweets about Donald Trump. And if you click on the links of the people who are, think the boobs have gotten too small, need to get bigger, it's posts supporting Donald Trump. It's like the politics every single time it cuts the same way, and I don't get it, but whatever. So anyway, for whatever reason, Jared Leto's version of Joker was more liked by the left than the right for some reason. So at first, it's like they're angry because it's the Joker, but it's not the Leto Joker, and that made people mad. Then the outrage seemed to swing the other direction, where the first trailer came out and it was like there was no Batman and the Joker. It looked like a '70s movie, and it was like, what is this crap? Where's Harley Quinn? Where's the giant hammer? Where's the acid spitting flower? And so then the comic diehards, the Group B, the right, they got mad. They're like, this is not our Joker, not my Joker. Hashtag not my Joker. And so that went on for a while, and then kind of plot twist, somewhere somehow, some group said, you know what, this is a movie for incels. This is a movie for the alt right white dudes who want to shoot up people. This is promoting violence and toxic masculinity. Out of nowhere, this came kind of completely out of nowhere. This new criticism, and then suddenly it flipped the other direction. Now you got a bunch of left wing sites like, this is a bad movie. It's bad that these movies are bad influence on kids. Think of the kids. It's bad. And then now the comic I'm watching all these comic faithfuls in this position now where they're like, hey, well, wait a minute, this Joker is actually pretty good. Let's not get too hasty here. And it's so bizarre to me. And also, I grew up in a time where here's this. You ever heard the band Two Live Crew? The rap band. That's not the way you're supposed to say it, but the rap group Two Live Crew. And they were down there in I think Dade County, doing their thing. And Tipper Gore, wife of Al Gore, the man who invented the internet, she was trying to ban all music, all of it. No, not all music, but she was definitely trying to ban the dangerous music for kids. And she was really all about it. And then the torch got passed in some weird way. And when people are like, damn that Tipper Gore and her music censorship, And then suddenly the left wing, the Democrats, they were like, you know what, we got to protect this music. And then it was like George Bush, W. Bush, and Nancy Reagan, for some reason, she'd been out of the office for more than a decade as the first lady. They're like, hey, those people want to take away your music. And it was like the Republicans and the religious people, they want to take away all your music and punish you. And the Democrats want you to listen to all the Two Live Crew you can listen to, all of it. By that point, actually, I think Two Live Crew had gone away, but it was like, we want you to listen to, God, I have no idea, Silverchair. We want no, nobody, nobody wants you to listen to Silverchair, or Maroon Five, either one. Uh, but Jesus, a trip through music history, ladies and gentlemen, right here. But suddenly it was like it was a Christian right. They were after your music, and the Democrats were defending us. And then it went the other way again. Now it's like the Democrats are suddenly, for a while it's like, hey, Jay-Z really good, all's well, and then suddenly it flips. The Democrats are like, you know what, this music is making incels and bad people. So we should get rid of it and censor it. Now the Republicans are back going, hey, we can't censor music. I just can't keep up with you people. I can't keep up. Pick a side. Stay with it. I'm tired. Just screw it. All the offensive music. We're gonna play it everywhere. You're gonna go into Target and you're gonna get me so horny over the loudspeaker, and that's what's gonna happen. Just deal with it. It's the new world order. No, but so this Joker movie, I don't get. I don't get now what we're supposed to be rooting for, cheering for. And there's this movie, and people are like, "Well, this movie is going to make him sympathetic." And I'm looking at this trailer now. Granted, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. I guess I can go online and kind of look at some spoilers, and see kind of it's showing internationally, so I can look up some. You know what? I'll just do that right now. I'll just look up some spoilers right now. All right, we're back. So spent some time on Reddit. I think who knows? Maybe I've got the right spoilers, maybe not. Read the Roger Ebert review. Pulled over. I'm not a maniac. Not going to do that while driving. But so basically, what this movie again, I haven't seen it. Probably won't see it. At least not in the theaters. I'll see it at some point. Sounds like we got Taxi Driver meets Clockwork Orange. Fine. It is what it is. Sounds like we've got Joaquin Phoenix here, and he is just kind of harassed. Sounds like he's harassed by what they say people of color, which which I think means black people. So is that kind of he's some people were mean to him and they were black people, and then he went killing everybody, and that's what we got. Is that seems like kind of the message that I'm pulling from this. He's attracted to a woman and he tries to go after her and gets there. Sounds like that too. So okay, um, cool. Sounds like Joaquin Phoenix does a decent job. Sounds like there's some super violence in there of him murdering people, and this is meant to kind of showcase a movie of somebody being pushed too far, and also not really knowing how to handle this kind of greater significance the world around him has given him. He becomes a cult hero to a bunch of the 99%, the disenfranchised, and then he becomes a pseudo celebrity, but he doesn't know or care or understand why this is well, not care, but he just doesn't know how to handle why this has happened, and so that further drives his problems. And it sounds like he's crazy. He sees things that aren't there. So I don't know. Maybe that I just gave you a bunch of spoilers. Maybe not. I have no idea. But um, but what do you make of this? Again, I like kind of what got me at the beginning is I do not understand the outrage and the way people get pissed off about these things. I just don't. I don't get. I don't get it. And what I really don't get about it is that we've seen lots of movies where there's the anti-hero villain. We've seen films, and we've seen Breaking Bad. We've seen Clockwork Orange. We've seen lots and lots of films where the main protagonist is kind of a rotten villain person, and then we see them um, do bad things. And we're given some justification. Clockwork Orange. We saw bad upbringing, bad environment, people were mean to him, everything else. It doesn't mean like when he goes out to rape people, it doesn't make the rape okay because it showed that he was beaten as a kid or these things happened. I think that's the part that where I feel like there's a schism, or at least between me and the rest of everyone else. Not everyone else, but a lot of people. People are really complaining because I don't really care if you make somebody really sympathetic, like you show this guy and he's a super mass murderer, violent and crazy and cutting people and super gory. This film Joker appears to be really gory, hard R for violence. Okay, fine. And you go with that, and then you during the course of the movie showed, well, as a kid he was dropped on his head, and they were mean to him, and he didn't get enough nap time, and he got rejected by all these girls, and now he hates women and all these other things. Just because you do that, it doesn't mean you're not a crazy murderer. If you're going to go out and violently kill someone, um, what led to that point may give you some insight into how it got there, but it doesn't make it okay. I think that that's something that we lost the plot on as a society. When you watch Clockwork Orange, you weren't supposed to go, oh well, those murders, those rapes aren't that bad. I mean, he was bullied. He was bullied, so a little raping's okay. Not a lot of raping. We're not monsters, but a little. Little's okay. He was bullied for about 5 years, so let's call it 5 rapes. That nobody says that. Nobody. Well, sorry, nobody who's in their right mind says that. And yet, it feels like that's kind of the world we are living in now with some of this stuff. The Joker movie. I mean, it really doesn't matter what kind of backstory they give it to make him, quote unquote, sympathetic and kind of understand his side. Understanding his side doesn't mean his side is okay. And then by the same token, kind of what I was ranting about earlier, if some other people watch Joker and they're like, okay, this has given me a great idea. I think I'll go out and kill people. That doesn't happen. It doesn't. I get, and I know there's lots of people disagree with me. Oh, but again, it used to be that it was the left, the Tipper Gore, and then it was the right wing, and now it's the left wing. They keep swapping places of who believes that violent video games or violent movies are going to make violent people. I think environmentally, they're one piece of many pieces that can make violent people. If you put it this way, I was telling this to another parent. They're like, I worry about these violent video games and what the effect will have on my kid. And I go, well, how old's your kid? Because they're the same age as mine. Like, well, my kid's 6. I'm like, okay, so don't let him play the violent games. It's like, oh, I can't stop him. Well, you can't stop your 6-year-old from playing violent games? No, you know how it is. They have their own iPad and they can just download stuff and I can't stop it. I'm like, but you can. You, 30, late 30s, human, adult, them, 6-year-old, was toddler a couple years ago. I think you can stop that. It's like, no, they just find stuff. They find stuff. I'm like, you could take away the iPad. You could lock it down so it can't download things. Are you telling me that your 6-year-old has their own iTunes account? They've qualified and they've signed up for the terms and conditions. They have their own iTunes account and password, and they're able to download their own violent video games. Now you can't take it away. Your 6-year-old's got you cowered there. I mean, look, I think yes, if you take your 6-year-old or your 8-year-old or your 10-year-old or your 14-year-old and you put them in a chair and you let them just consume 20 hours a day of violent content, and you don't you let them not go to school, and you buy them weed, and you just ignore them, and when they talk you'd say shut up you, and you beat them with a belt, then yeah, those violent video games are probably going to have an effect. But here's the thing, there's lots of structures in society to keep us from having 20 hours a day of violent video games. There is. I think anything in excess is going to make you crazy. If you sit down and you watch the Care Bears for 20 hours a day, you're going to lose your effing mind. That's just how life works. So the Joker, this idea that this movie, The Joker, is dangerous, that the incels are going to watch it and then suddenly, in the incel DNA of their incel mind, are going to become the Joker. No, that's not going to happen. If somebody goes in and they watch the Joker and that is the tipping point to murder and rape and other violence, then that tipping point had already come. All that groundwork had already been laid. If it wasn't going to be the Joker, it was going to be the Care Bears. It was going to be the Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn emancipation movie. It was going to be Avatar 2. It was going to be any of these films. Because if you're crazy enough to think at some point, hey, I went in, I watched this movie, I think I'll put on a Joker mask and go kill some people, then the battle is long, long over. This was the spark. And you could say, well, let's not have the spark. Okay, but then we're going to have to outlaw all movies because it does not matter. Frozen 2 will trigger somebody and cause them to go off. That's just, you can't do it. So as a society, we've got to make sure that we're, properly keeping people from getting to the point where a Joaquin Phoenix movie isn't going to be the call to arms for a bunch of people. And it's just ridiculous. The people are saying, I don't. This movie makes me uncomfortable because it's portraying this white guy as not responsible for his actions, sympathetic. No, that's you. The people are saying that they are the ones who are feeling unsympathetic to their actions. Anyone in their right mind goes, hey, it's not that hard. Oh, did you kill somebody in cold blood? You sliced them open and you were super violent and brutal. Hey, you get to go to jail and or die. Hopefully die. Don't clog up the prison system. Oh, you did a bunch of raping? You're dead. We're gonna kill you. Death penalty. Sorry, son. You shouldn't have done it. I mean, it's not that hard. In court cases, and I mean, they don't. The defense attorneys might do this, but if somebody's going to be a mass murderer, they don't sit there with a bunch of attorneys and go, okay, well, let's see. Wait, maybe. Hey, hang on. Before we say if this guy's guilty or not, Did you watch the Joker? Oh, you did? Okay. Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, this person cannot be responsible for their actions. They watched the Joker. This person watched the Joker. What can we do? Yeah. Who can judge a man who watched the Joker? None of this is going to happen. So it's a bunch of kind of weird fear mongering that goes on that really makes absolutely no sense. But that's just my opinion anyway. What do you think? Are you worried about this film? Not worried about this film? Do you wish people would just kind of STFU and just start liking or disliking things and stop trying to make everything into a giant circus? Do you are you tired of it? And do you wish people would just stop flipping their minds on what's okay and what's not okay? They could just stick with it. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? I think so. Leave me a comment below. Love to know what you think. Hey, why not? Like, subscribe, click the bell for notification. Follow me on Twitter at Comic Perch. Thanks for listening.